Good morning. One afternoon, I stood in the midst of a crowded square, observing the people around me. A cheer had begun, growing louder with each passing moment as more joined in. The crowd's energy was contagious, their excitement palpable. Each individual appeared to be swept up in the collective fervor, clapping and shouting in unison, as if this shared action gave their behavior a sense of righteousness. However, amidst this display of enthusiasm, a question arose in my mind. Are they participating out of reason, or because it is simply what everyone else is doing? This simple reflection led me to a crucial realization. The majority is not always right. The crowd was not guided by reason or a true understanding of the situation. They were merely following the flow of social conformity. Each person was acting not because they had thought it through, but because it was what the others around them were doing. The social impulse to blend in and belong had overtaken their capacity for independent judgment. I could see clearly that their actions lacked rationality. They followed the crowd because it was easy, not because it was right. This phenomenon is not new. Throughout history, the majority has often been mistaken. The crowd does not always possess wisdom. In fact, it is often driven by convenience, fear, or a desire for acceptance. It was the philosophers, the independent thinkers, who resisted the sway of the majority and acted based on reason. The masses may have cheered, but those who thought critically knew that mere popular opinion cannot be equated with truth or moral righteousness. Reflecting further, I recognize that reason demands that we act according to principles, not popular trends. It is easy to follow the majority. It requires no effort, no questioning, no confrontation. It provides comfort and a sense of belonging. Yet, this very act of following without critical thought is intellectually lazy and morally irresponsible. The path of least resistance may seem attractive, but it is rarely the path of moral integrity. The true test of one's character is not found in conformity, but in the ability to stand apart when the majority is wrong. The individual who thinks critically, who evaluates actions based on reason and justice, demonstrates true moral autonomy. To be swayed by the crowd is to relinquish one's responsibility to act according to what is right. Philosophical reflection, grounded in reason, requires that we assess the moral and intellectual soundness of our actions, regardless of whether they are popular. I thought of the many instances where the majority was mistaken. The majority once believed that certain races were inferior, that women were not entitled to equal rights, and that slavery was justified. In each of these cases, the collective opinion of the time was wrong. And it was the individuals who dared to think independently, who challenged the popular opinion, that led humanity toward moral progress. They did not follow the crowd. They acted according to reason, and in doing so, they changed the course of history. This reflection led me to ask, what is the role of reason in shaping our actions? The philosopher must not merely act to conform, but must question the very principles behind the actions of the majority. Does this action align with justice? Is it rational? Is it consistent with the moral law? If the answer is no, then one must not follow the crowd. The moral agent, guided by reason, should act according to the ethical law, even if it means standing alone. We must ask ourselves, would you still believe something was right if no one else were doing it? The actions of the majority cannot serve as the sole basis for determining right from wrong. The fact that many people do something does not make it morally right. The true source of moral judgment is reason, not the collective behavior of others. If we only act because it is what everyone else is doing, we are no better than the herd. The philosopher must therefore resist the temptation to follow the majority blindly. To do so is to give up one's autonomy, to cease to think for oneself. Moral integrity demands that we ask whether our actions align with reason, regardless of whether they are in line with the majority. The courage to think independently and to act according to what is rational and just, even when it goes against popular opinion, is the mark of true virtue. This challenge, to think critically and not merely follow the crowd, is a call for intellectual and moral courage. The next time you find yourself thinking, but everyone is doing it, take a step back. Ask yourself, is this truly the right thing to do? Or am I just following the path of least resistance? Reason and moral duty call on us to question the popular opinion, to consider the ethical implications of our actions, and to act in accordance with what is right, not what is easy.